Ornaments for grand entertainments, and Dragees. To make sugar of roses in figures. Clip off the white from the red bud and dry it in the sun, to 1 ounce of which, finely powdered, take 1 pound of loaf sugar. Wet the sugar in rose water, but if in season, the juice of roses. Boil it to a candy height, put in the powder of roses and the juice of a lemon. Mince all well together, put it on a pie plate and cut it into lozenges, or make it into any figures you please, as men, women or birds. And if you want ornaments in your dessert, you may gild or colour them as in the wormwood cakes. To make a grand trifle. Take a very large deep china dish. First make some calves' foot jelly, with which fill the dish about half the depth. When it begins to jelly, have ready some Naples biscuits, macaroons, and the little cakes called matrimony. Break an equal quantity of these in pieces and stick them in the jelly before it be stiff, all over very thick. Pour over that a quart of thick sweet cream, then lay all round currant jelly, raspberry jam and some calves' foot jelly, all cut in little pieces, with which garnish your dish thick all round, intermixing them, and lay on them macaroons and the little cakes, being first dipped in sack. Then take 2 quarts of the thickest cream you can get, sweeten it with double refined sugar, grate into it the rind of 3 large lemons, and beat it up with a whisk. Take off the froth as it rises, and lay it in your dish as high as you can possibly raise it. To make calves' foot jelly for the above dish. Take 4 calves' feet, set them on the fire in a saucepan or pot that will hold 2 gallons of water, and let them boil till they come to pieces, or 2 parts wasted, or till the jelly, by taking a little out, be as stiff as glue. Strain it through a sieve. When cold, take off the fat at top. Then take 2 quarts of this jelly, 1 quart of mountain wine, the juice of 6 large lemons, half a pound of double refined sugar, and the whites of 6 eggs beat to a froth. Mix all together, let it boil, and run it through a jelly bag into a bowl on a good quantity of lemon peel. Throw what quantity you want into your dish, and pour the rest into another dish, so that you may cut it out when cold to garnish your trifle with. To make a floating island. Take a quart of very thick cream, sweeten it with fine sugar, grate in the peel of 2 lemons and half a pint of sweet white wine. Whisk it well till you have raised all the froth you can. Pour a pint or quart of thick cream into a china dish according to its depth. Take 2 French rolls, slice them thin, and lay them over the cream as light as you can. Then a layer of fine calves' foot or hartshorn jelly. Roll them over the currant jelly, then put the French rolls, and whip up your cream. Lay it on as high as you can, and what remains pour into the bottom of the dish. Garnish the rim of your dish with different sorts of sweetmeats, jellies, and ratafia cakes. This looks very ornamental in the middle of the table. To make a hedgehog. Blanch 2 pounds of almonds, beat them well in a mortar with a little canary and orange flower water to keep them from oiling. Make them into a stiff paste and beat in the yolks of 12 eggs, leave out 5 of the whites. Put to it a pint of cream sweetened with sugar. Put in half a pound of sweet butter melted. Set it on a furnace or slow fire and keep it constantly stirring till it is stiff enough to be made into the form of a hedgehog. Then stick it full of blanched almonds, slit and stuck up like the bristles of a hedgehog. Put it into a dish. Add a pint of cream and the yolks of 4 eggs beat up. Sweeten with sugar to your palate. Stir them together over a slow fire till it is quite hot. Then pour it round the hedgehog in a dish, and let it stand till it is cold, and serve it up. Or a rich calf's foot jelly made clear and good, poured into the dish round the hedgehog. When it is cold, it looks pretty and makes a neat dish. Or it looks handsome in the middle of a table for supper. To make a floating island of apples. Bake or scald 8 or 9 large apples. When cold, pare them and pulp them through a sieve. Beat this up with fine sugar. Put to it the whites of 4 or 5 eggs that have been beaten with a little rose water. Mix it a little at a time and beat it till it is light. Heap it on a rich cold custard or on jelly. To make a floating island of chocolate. Take the whites of 2 eggs and mix them up with 2 ounces of chocolate scraped. Pile it on thin custard or jelly. To make a dessert island. Form a lump of paste into a rock 3 inches broad at the top, colour it and set it in the middle of a deep china dish. Set a cast figure on it with a crown on its head and a knot of rock candy at its feet. Then make a roll of paste an inch thick and stick it on the inner edge of the dish 2 parts round. Cut 8 pieces of aringo roots about 3 inches long and fix them upright to the roll of paste on the edge. Make gravel walks of shot comfits round the dish and set small figures in them. Roll out some paste and cut it open like Chinese rails. Bake it and fix it on either side of the gravel walks with gum and form an entrance where the Chinese rails are, with 2 pieces of aringo root for pillars. To make artificial fruit. First take care at a proper time of the year to save the stalks of the fruit with the stones to them. Then get some neat tins made in the shape of the fruit you intend to make, leaving a hole at the top to put in the stone and stalk, so contrived as to open in the middle to take out the fruit. You must also have a frame of wood to fix them in. In making the tins, care must be taken to have them extremely smooth in the inside, lest by their roughness they mark the fruit, as also that they are made of exact shape to what they represent, for a defect in either will give deformity to the artificial fruit. Then take 2 cow heels and a calf's foot and boil them in a gallon of soft water to rags. When you have a full quart of jelly, strain it through a sieve, put it in a saucepan, sweeten it, put in some lemon peel with perfume and colour it to the fruit you intend to imitate. Stir all together, give it a boil and fill your tins. Put in your stones and the stalks just as the fruit grows. When the jelly is quite cold, open your tins for the bloom and carefully dust powder blue. To make moonshine. Take the shapes of a half moon and 5 or 7 stars. Wet them and fill them with flummery. Let them stand till they are cold, then turn them into a deep china dish, and pour lemon cream round them, made thus. Take a pint of spring water, put it to the juice of 3 lemons and the yellow rind of 1 lemon, the whites of 5 eggs well beaten, and 4 ounces of loaf sugar. Then set it over a slow fire and stir one way till it looks white and thick. If you let it boil, it will curdle. Then strain it through a hair sieve and let it stand till it is cold. Beat the yolks of 5 eggs, mix them with your whites, set them over the fire and keep stirring it till it is almost ready to boil. Then pour it into a basin. When it is cold, pour it among the moon and stars. Garnish with flowers. It is a proper dish for a second course, either for dinner or supper. To make a fish pond. Fill your large fish moulds and 6 small ones with flummery. Take a china bowl and put in half a pint of stiff, clear calf's foot jelly. Let it stand till cold and lay 2 of the small fishes on the jelly the right side down. Put in half a pint more jelly. Let it stand till cold and lay in the 4 small fishes across one another that, when you turn the bowl upside down, the heads and tails may be seen. Then almost fill your bowl with jelly and let it stand till cold. Lay in the jelly 4 large fishes, fill the basin full with jelly and let it stand till the next day. When you want to use it, set your bowl to the brim in hot water for 1 minute. Take care that you do not let the water go into the basin. Lay your plate on the top of the basin and turn it upside down. If you want it for the middle, turn it upon a salver. Be sure you make your jelly very still and clear. To make French Dragees. Take any quantity of almonds, put them a short time in the oven to dry. Then put them in the tossing pan over a small fire and keep stirring them till they are warm. Take 1/4 pound of gum arabic, which dissolve on the fire with a little water. When the gum is dissolved, add to it a little clarified sugar and boil them together a short time. Then put some of that mixture in the tossing pan with your almonds. Keep stirring till the almonds are dry. When dry, add a little gum to them and do the same till they are dry again, and continue so doing till you have used all your gum. Then add as much clarified sugar as will cover the almonds and boil it a little. Stir your almonds till you see they are well covered. You must take care to stir them continually and to keep always an equal fire under your tossing pan. When you see the almonds are well covered, take a little clarified sugar light, that is, where there is more water than sugar. Diminish your fire and give your almonds 3 or 4 washes over with the sugar in moving them to make them slip to and fro in the pan. You may even sleek them in the pan with your hand till they begin to be dry. Then continue to sleek them with the pan, and take them off and set them in the stove to dry. To make Coriander Dragees. Take any quantity of coriander seeds, put them in the tossing pan over the fire and let them warm. When they are warm, throw in about half a glass of vinegar. Stir them well till they are dry. Have clarified sugar, which boil in another pan, and proceed as directed for the almonds, till you see the corianders are covered to the size you want to have them. When that is done, take the corianders out from the pan, wash them well, and put them in again, and stir them well till they are all warm, then have clarified sugar, which boil to the first degree. When this is done, put it in an instrument of copper, made on purpose for the operation, and at the bottom of which there is a little hole. Hang it up by a packthread string that the sugar may fall from about a yard height into the pan where the corianders are. While the sugar falls into your pan, Keep stirring well your corianders till you see they are well pearled over or rough and grainy. When they are sufficiently so, take them out and place them in the stove to finish drying. To make cinnamon dragees. Take any quantity of cinnamon, put it to soak in water for 1 day, then take it out and cut it lengthways into small fine pieces. Put it in your pan and just heat it over a gentle fire. Then take clarified sugar, which must be warm, and put a little of it in your pan. Then stir it about with your hands that those bits should not stick to each other till it is dry. Give your cinnamon thus 2 or 3 bodies by keeping stirring with your hands till it is pretty well covered. Afterwards continue to add sugar to it occasionally till you have brought it to the size you would have it. Then proceed for the rest, as directed for the coriander, till it has done pearling, when you may put it in the stove to finish drying. To make cardamom dragees. Take any quantity of cardamoms, put them in the oven to dry. When they are well dried, take them off the fire and pick all the seeds out of them. Clean them well and part all the grains, for they frequently stick together. When the seed is well cleaned, put it in the preserving pan, and, except the gum, which you will not have occasion to make use of, proceed as before directed for the almonds. To make caraway seed dragees. Take any quantity of caraway, put it in the preserving pan, and when it is quite warm, put in clarified sugar a little at a time, stirring it occasionally till it is of what size or bigness you wish to have it. Then proceed as directed for the almonds, with respect to the managing of them from that time to the putting of them in the stove to dry. To make violet dragees. Take 1 ounce of gum dragon, which set to soak in half a pint of water for 24 hours. Then pass it through a cloth and put it in the mortar. First pound it alone to make it whiten, then add to it some powdered sugar and continue to pound it in, adding sugar at intervals till your paste rises very high and sticks to your powder. Then take it off and put it in a bowl, cut a bit of it and fill it with powdered sugar till you can handle it without it sticking to your fingers. Then add to it violet powder and take a bit with your fingers, which roll and dress of the size of half a corn of rice. Put the other in a pot to keep it moist, and that which you worked as directed, place in the stove to keep dry. Keep it stirring for fear they should stick one to another, but the fire must be very gentle. When they are well dried, put them in the preserving pan over a slow fire, and when warm, put some clarified sugar in the preserving pan with a spoon and stir them continually till they are dry. Then add another spoonful of sugar, dry it again, and repeat it till your dragees are brought to the size that you wish to have them, and proceed as directed for the almonds. To make coffee dragees. Take paste made in the same way as for the last dragees, or which you have remaining, fill it with powdered sugar. Take some ground coffee and mix with it. Then with your fingers roll some bits of it to the size of coffee beans. Put them in the stove to dry, and when dry, give them the sugar as directed for the violet dragees. End of section 18.